In this video, I'm just going to do a quick walk around the garden. Well, it's not that quick really, but it's just a chat. So this is like how I come out of my back door, and we use that pizza oven as an open fire on the patio. And then I've got to change this planter, but here we have a clematis growing through a grapevine. And I think with the cottage garden, it's all about layers and just, you know, having all these layers and these little hidden charms. This is my gooseberry bush over here. I've got 3 in fact, but the birds eat them long before I ever harvest them, which I don't really mind. I mean, I do like gooseberries, but you know, if the birds want them, they can have them. And then this, I'm going to get some more pots here, filling up this space. But look at these bells of Ireland. They're kind of so small compared to last year. And I think it's to do with the cold wind. And I think the ones that are sheltered are much bigger. So that's telling me that they like to be sheltered rather than exposed. Here we've got some Sweet William and Lobelia. Again, the Lobelia should be flowering by now, but they're just not growing. It's so very weird. Today was a hot day, but you know, it's on the back of all these really warm days, but with cold winds. You can see the wind even now. But these were the sheltered ones, so they're slightly bigger than the ones that are exposed in the sunlight. So they obviously do benefit from a bit of shade, and I suspect from these are sheltered more from the wind as well, although they're wobbling about like crazy in the wind here. So you can see the forget-me-nots are just going over. This is one of my foxgloves I grew from seed last year. This was a cutting. This rose was a cutting from my rose hedge. No, from a climbing roses actually. The buds are a bit sticky, so I might treat them there, obviously organically. So I'll just wash them down with some warm soapy water. I've got my bistorta here. Again, the layers climbing through, poking through the clematis. This is all my plant theatre where I took out the tree a couple of weeks ago now. And these pots could do with refreshing now at this point. I can't remember what this flower is. Again, I grew it from seed. It's a perennial, so it should spread. And it's white. They're usually more commonly pink, but mine is white. And this is another little rose shrub, and I'll show you in a minute what it looks like. All my sweet peas are now coming into flower, but they've only really just started coming into flower. This is the rose. It's like a little shrub patio rose. It smells quite soapy. It's really cute. And as you can see, the sweet peas. So obviously with the sweet peas, you need to start picking them so that they don't run to seed and they'll keep flowering. All these are going to be planted out now, and as you can see, look, this is the rose. Now look, this rose is more or less in shade, and yet it flowers prolifically. So you can have roses if you're in quite a bit of... That pink one that you just saw there, I can't even think which direction it gets the sun from, because it's right under the hedge, and then where the sun would come, it's also blocked by a tree. They were Canterbury bells I just showed you there. So this is look more sheltered by this rose shrub. And these ones, I don't know why those bells of Ireland aren't growing. But I can only imagine it's this cold wind that has held them back. And the bigger ones are just more sheltered. That's all I can think. So some nice lavender coming into flower here either side of that patio. I chucked in a hydrangea in that gap. I had some blue woodruff growing in here, but I don't think it's come to anything. I planted it from seed, unless this is it here. I'm not sure what happened there. So again, I can... anyway, you know, if it doesn't grow, it doesn't matter. I've got a planter that I can refresh once I'm done with these forget-me-nots. So here's the hydrangea. Some snapdragons there. Again, layering clematis through the rose hedge there. So some buds on that will come later. Another pot I can use down there that needs refreshing, some new plants in it. Probably put some snapdragons in it, like I did last year. Look at the beautiful... The roses are massive. They're like what the dinner plate dahlias. They're so big this year. This is what's this one called? Something Wisley, that one there. That oh, what's it called? Forget it now. This is a Pilgrim's Rose, David Austin, a climbing rose. I'm going to get more of those up the pergola. The peony is only just coming into flower. You can see the columbine has got seed heads on it now, so that's going over. And more layering, we've got sweet peas growing up through the peony. So that's really nice to have a little bit of extra layering there. This is the plant theatre. So, you know, the alliums and the bistorta will be going over now, the columbine. So it's time to think about refreshing these pots. So some of them have some shrubs in, like hydrangeas, but you can see you've got the ranunculus there, some marigolds, and some of these are shrubs. I forget which ones they are. Another look, see this sheltered bells of Ireland there? Looks like it's been a bit nibbled, that one. And the ranunculus now are in flowers, lots more buds to come. Slightly disappointed in them this year because I didn't plant them as closely, and I do regret that now. Because I wanted to spread more around the garden, and I think that was a mistake. They definitely look better all blocked together. The ones that I've planted around the rest of the garden, as you'll see in a minute, are kind of a bit lost. They would have been better in here in the block. But you can see how different they all are. They're all different, delicate colours, delicate sizes. This is kind of like the traditional looking florist's one here. And these other ones are more blown open. And they look a little bit, some of them look a little bit like anemones. But as you can see, I've got lots more buds to come in this patch. So yeah, I'm okay. I'm happy with them, but I do wish I planted them closer together. And you know, the ranunculus is related to the buttercup, and that one is almost exactly like a buttercup. It's so cute. So as you can see, lots of buds there, lots more to come. I had a cosmos self-seed here. I've had a couple of cosmos self-seed, which I've never had before in any other garden. So they must like it here. And a nasturtium there, self-seeding. So these are all more pots of stuff to go out. And if I don't get them out soon, they are just going to die. But I've just been, I can't tell you the hassle I've been in. Dahlias. And this one that's a wildflower. I forget what it's called. Obviously some sunflowers there. I'm going to plant some more sunflowers as well. I might pot the sunflowers up in big pots. I've got some dill there, which I'm going to use like as a replacement for Amy. The pots, because then I can move them around the garden. I did that last year. This is a saponaria, I think it's called saponaria, and I wanted it to sort of take over from the forget-me-nots when they went over. It's a little bit taller than I was expecting, and it's taken longer to flower than expecting. And these are the nigella. These all nigella, all these self-seeded. So I haven't put any effort into those at all. So I'm pretty pleased about that. That's a status that's self-seeded or overwintered. I don't know which. You know, and these are Shasta daisies. I've got lots of Shasta daisies. So in my previous video, I talked about repeating patterns. At the moment, I have a lot of yarrow and Shasta daisies. But as you can see, this Acme, what is it? Forget what it's called. Gold plate, is it? I don't know which colour it even is, but the Achillea, that's too tall. It needs to move. Some more of this saponaria here, look. Again, wrong place, but I do like it. It's just taller than I was expecting. So these is what I mean. I put some ranunculus to do the repeating pattern. I put them in other borders. There's a poppy there as well. And I think they just look a bit lost, to be honest. I think they would have looked just all better packed into the ranuncular border. So again, look at this. These bells of Ireland that are sheltered are definitely doing better, and with a little bit more shade as well. So that's worth knowing. And there's a little marigold hidden in there, so I probably need to move that. The tulips dying back there in the way. A little cat there needing a cuddle. So over here we have, so there's a nice little combinations here. So it's good to experiment. So we've got this is in the most sun. So obviously more sweet peas. So I've got sweet peas here, and then up towards the patio as well, which I just showed you at the beginning of the video. So lots of sweet peas. This one fell over, and I have talked in a couple of videos how I'm going to get rid of this blackberry bush here and replace it with roses, because it just mobs them, and it doesn't keep the blackberries are delicious, but it doesn't keep a nice shape, so it's kind of knocked over you know, these sweet peas. And these are my Poundland ranunculus. So I don't know if they're going to have time to flower. There's another Bells of Ireland there, and a Nicotiana here. But these Poundland ranunculus, if the wind stays chill enough, it might just keep the temperature down enough that they will have time to flower. But, you know, I did them as an experiment. So they've all germinated or, you know, grown leaves. They might just overwinter. I don't know. We'll see. And these are the peonies. So this is the peony border. I actually did chop off the peonies off one of these and put them in the house because they were so pretty, and you couldn't really see them at the back there. More layers, more clematis there. So hiding behind this rose. So probably needs potting up, really. Not potting up, planting out. Scabiosa. These are the drumstick scabiosa here, just starting to come into flower. And the poppies in this border, because it's in a little bit more sunshine, have flowered in here. And I think I've got giant straw flowers growing there. I forget the name of this poppy, Purple Passion or something. But I thought it looked really nice. The plan was to have it as with the sweet peas as a backdrop, and I think that kind of works. I just needed perhaps more of them. But I think that's a nice combination, actually, the poppies and the sweet peas. And you see what I mean about the ranunculus being a bit lost. I've got to get rid of this. These are larkspur, and I've got to get rid of this blackberry bush. It's just no good. I'm going to move it to the back fence so it can completely cover that fence, and then I can still keep the fruit from it. I've got some cosmos here at the back. So this sort of is the back fence that leads into my main border. It took me ages to plant these cosmos out as well, so you know they're just a little bit stunted, but they are growing, so that's fine. This is Monarda, so bee balm, and some more Shasta daisies. What do you call it? That essential oil. Some more scabiosa. What do you call it? Bergamot. That's it. Bergamot Monarda. Here's my other sweet peas, not flowering yet. And I've got some actual peas that are flowering. So these are edible peas, these kind of white ones here. Possibly in a bit too much shade there because they're trying to lean forward. Verbena bonassariensis here, well, they'll all grow up through the summer and fill this entire gap here in the border. So that's going to look nice. They come right up and touch the buddleia. So you won't see all that back there. I've got a bit of Ami at the back there as well. Some cosmos, dahlias, a bit patchy, but they should all fill out eventually. There's the Ami over there, little lone, but I know how big they get, so I'm not too worried. I might put some of the dill back there as well. I don't know whether it'll flower well this year, but it will definitely flower next year. Some snapdragons, some more scabiosa, more snapdragons there, some more, scabiosa. So the repeating patterns again. Yarrow or Achillea, I can never remember which. So I've got a few of those growing. Probably that one's too big at the front there. This is Veronica, again, probably needs moving because it's taken over by the Achillea next to it. More Monarda, so repeating patterns. I've got some Sweet William, probably not going to flower now till next year. These alliums need moving. Remember I said in my previous video when I went round Small Hythe Place that I was going to rearrange my alliums to give them more order. But I'm not going to do that until the autumn. I've got some really nice Sweet Rocket here which will perennialise and spread and fill up these gaps. So next year hopefully I won't have these gaps because the Sweet Rocket will spread throughout. And I've got some Echinops also, which will come up and be tall like the alliums. This is the Sweet Rocket here, look. This is quite a small, it probably shouldn't have flowered. It's done well to actually flower already because it won't really flower till next year.
No.
Now,
No.
the cat tried to get a baby bird here. when I was filming, but we managed to head her off. at the pass, but I could hear all the babies in here. And the fact that I can hear them obviously means they're okay, but I wish they weren't on the ground. But this is also why I keep this all a little bit overgrown here, because it gives the baby birds hiding places, and there's brambles and things that the cat isn't really that bothered about forcing her way into. So yeah, they have a little bit of ground cover when they're learning to fly, you know. They I don't know whether is that a baby or a mummy. Yeah, they have a little bit of hiding space, you know, room for error, if you like, where the cat can't be bothered to go, because she's not that bothered. It's not like she's starving or anything.
Where did she go?
Yeah, so drama averted there. That's always worth keeping your eye on your cat when you've got baby birds. She's only caught one this year, and you know, I've had at least 5 nests fledglings, 5 nests worth, so however many babies that is. So we're definitely in the you know, net positive area. We definitely are having more baby birds than cat kills. She's, as I say, only killed 1, and I don't know when she did that, but I did find the body, unfortunately, of a little baby. I think it was a baby robin. So more dahlias there, and Shasta daisies again. So I've got that repeating pattern going through. So we'll see how that looks when they come into flower, because I'm not sure about it yet. Some of them aren't in the right places. You know, it's only as they grow, because different varieties grow differently, depending on, like, also the hedge affects how things grow. So I've got a hedge behind me here, and that can affect how tall things grow. These marigolds here are they're too short, and I had this path here. I think that was the cat, by the way, that knocked down my oregano there. I think she lay in it. So this path is going to go. I can fill that up now. I just had that to water the tree. Well, I might have to keep it in, actually, but the tree died. So I don't know. I read that trees can survive defoliation for 1 season, so we'll see. But I don't have a lot of hope. Some more Ami everywhere at the back here to fill in these gaps. So it's hard to believe it now, but they will grow big and sort of billow through this space here up to the buddleia there. Yeah, so I'm going to plant. I had more iris last year than I did this year, so yeah, so lots of gaps there. But that's what I was talking about when I went to Small Hythe about those. Next year in May, I don't think I'm going to have those gaps. I think I'm going to get that sorted. And the lawn, I'm not dealing with the lawn until autumn. I don't even know if I might extend some of these borders and get rid of more of that lawn and have more pathways. We'll see. And here's my, I love these Verbascum. They're going over now, but some of them are actually shooting up even more stems. So I definitely think they're a great filler plant for a cottage garden. And this is a red David Austin climbing rose. And this is the roses. These are 2 roses. One is a rambler and one is a climbing rose. I can't remember the names, but they're both David Austin. And that's over the pergola by the fire pit. So I kind of want more of that. Maybe not a rambler, because the ramblers are a little bit crazy. And there's a buddleia there. They'll flower, all the buddleia there. And the honeysuckle is flowering over there. So the backdrop is getting better. I've got a bit more hedge planted as well to cover the fence, but you can see the state of this Edgeworthia is not looking good. I should have moved it when it was dormant. So, but all this hedge will be clad with hedge, and also, sorry, the fence will be clad with hedge, and then I'll put the blackberry over it as well, so that you won't see any of that grotty sort of wood. It'll be a green backdrop. And then this is where I was planting my seeds, because I've got to do some succession sowing and also some sowing for next summer's flowering. So I'll do my foxgloves and things like that, my honesty. I'll be doing those quite soon, and some more sunflowers and things for this year. But yeah, so as you can see, it's not too bad. Lots of flowers. I mean, I've filled the house with flowers right now. I've got a vase of flowers full in every room. And you can imagine how much that would cost if you had to buy
Come
them in
away
the
from the
shop.
birdies. Come on,
Let me just
away from
chase
the
that naughty
lilies.
cat away again. Yeah, so just got this area where the pots are on the right. I've got to sort all that out. The lawn, I don't know what I'm going to do about the lawn. Whether I'm going to increase the borders, and then what I think I will do is probably increase the borders, and then what I'll do is when I'm sure about where the borders are going to go, then I will see to making the grass look beautiful and clipped, because I'll only have those small bits to clip. Just like in Small Hythe, where they just had a narrow strip of a grass pathway, but that narrow strip was perfectly manicured. And I think that's important when you have a kind of a crazy cottage garden like this, is to have some manicured bits to sort of offset and to make so the eye can make sense of some sort of order about what it's seeing. Anyhow, that's it for this video. Just a quick early June tour. Let me know what you think, and I'll see you in my next video. Thanks for watching. Bye.